So I just heard this song. It just came on Pandora, and for some reason, it just caught my attention. I've never heard it before, but I just stopped and I listened to literally every word, and then I started to think during it. This was like an 11-minute long song as well, and it brought perspective for something that I had worried about for a while, ever since starting this walk with God and starting to write and study things, and realizing that the things that I was learning and discovering were intended for something, that's not just for me. That was intended to share the understanding, that I'm getting about things I never knew before, just about God, period, as I went through this journey. All of everything that has been made known to me, revealed to me, somebody else needs to know or needs to hear as well, just like I didn't know myself before. Because these are the things that change, that give perspective, that transform, but in realizing this, I was worried about myself, because I thought that this was a task that surely isn't something that I can do, that surely isn't something for me. It would be for somebody who has more influence, or somebody who has more popularity or power, or somebody who has a better ability in speaking. So I felt that conviction in my heart for a long time to just get started, to start sharing in some way. But I held back. I kept seeking. I kept doing more and more writing. I have pages and pages and pages and pages filled with things that I've written as it's come to me. But sharing it took me a while. I had a lot of reservations. And not because I'm ashamed of anything, but mostly just because I didn't feel in myself like I'm too weak. Like I'm not the person, that could do, like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, because of that, the social aspect has always been a factor, that's always been a problem for me. So I was always just so afraid that I'm going to misrepresent God in some way. So I knew what I'm writing, everything that's been given to me, that is good. Like that, that's gonna serve the purpose it's intended to. But it was myself, I'm just worried about, that people hear the truth in the things that I write, it helps them in some way, reveals some sort of understanding to them in some way, like it did for me, that's good. But then I'm worried that when people actually meet me, when people actually talk to me, that they'd be disappointed, that people expect somebody who's more sociable, that's more likable, that's more, not that I'm friendly, I'm polite, I'm loving. I've had a barrier there with communication and sociability. I'm awkward in nature, especially in person. This is just a recording, so it's different. But so that kind of made me hold back, because I didn't want to disappoint God by misrepresenting him, because I'm not, me as a person, I'm not good enough. I know nobody is, but just that surely that there's other people, I see them all the time. There's people that are so they're so likable, they're so they're popular amongst people, that they're so sociable naturally, that they're inviting, that's what people are attracted to, certain personalities and whatnot, and that I'm not like that. I've always wanted to be different than what I am. I've always wanted to be like the social people, the ones who make friends really quickly, but I'm just not. And I've tried all my life. It's not something that, I have control over. It's just my nature of being an introverted, someone awkward, not naturally a very sociable person, and I feel like that isn't what attracts people, that pushes people away, so I've experienced that all of my life, I've experienced a great deal of rejection and inability to make friends or be part of friend groups and whatnot because of this, and I've always wanted it to be different, despite my best efforts, so I know. So back to when listening to the song, it was talking about how Jesus is, they kept saying that you are wonderful, you are beautiful, you are spotless, you are worthy, you are wonderful. Oh, I said wonderful, but basically it was repeating that over and over. You're matchless in every way. You're glorious. It just was repeating this over and over and over with this beautiful piano music. And it was during that, like when that's when it hit me. That it's not about me, basically, and that's a hard thing, because when you love God, you come to fear God, like, you just know now, like, the truth. You just want to do right, you want to glorify God in the best way that you can, and like my insufficiency in myself, my knowledge of, myself, like, too weak of a vessel, like I'm not don't feel like the right vessel, like kept me from sharing, but that's, like I said, that part of that song made me realize that it's not supposed to be about me. Like it never was about me to begin with. It doesn't matter, like that's why Jesus used the least of them, the debased, the rejected, the foolish things of this world, to put to shame those who are wise in their own eyes, because that's supposed to be about your hearing, it's about the hearing. Can you identify truth? Can you hear God and what somebody's saying? Can you see Jesus and what people are saying? Do you have ears to hear, eyes to see? So it's always supposed to be about that and not about the vessel themselves. So that's the point, that's why he uses people like me, because he is beautiful, he is glorious, he is worthy, he is righteous, he is matchless in every way. Jesus is the truth, every good thing that exists in me, even, like, that's Jesus, like, and that's the things that you see when people are talking, like, despite if they're broken vessels, like, that they mess up in their lives, if, like, we tend to discredit people immediately as soon as we see that they're not perfect. Like when we see a fallen aspect of an individual, we discredit all of their work. Like maybe they're beautiful musicians, beautiful artists, wrote beautiful songs, like preach beautiful sermons and beautiful teachings, exhortations, like, but then we're so quick to judge, like we put ourselves in the place as the judge, and then we reject people as soon as we see that they're fallen in nature in any way, shape, or form, when we're failing to realize that that's the case for every person walking this planet. Our role is simply to see that, like, if you have eyes to see, ears to hear, that you can hear, you can see, you can identify truth, you can identify God, you can identify Jesus, you recognize it, it's a familiar spirit to the one that you carry. Singing that, like, that really just gave me perspective, that it's okay, even if people are disappointed, if I ever put myself out there, people are disappointed when they meet me, like I'm not as sociable, or like not naturally, just just timid, quiet, socially awkward, weird, not what you would expect, like when you associate God, with people, but it's okay, if people reject things because of me, then that just simply meant that they didn't have eyes to see or ears to hear. So, it's just a willingness to understand that it's okay if people don't like you, basically, or if they don't see, but the whole purpose for you is just to give the truth, just to give what it is that's been given to you. And those with eyes to see will see. And it's all about Jesus. It's to reveal Jesus, not myself.